If you're over 40 and thinking about creating content online, or you're already doing it, this video is for you, because today we're talking about something that really doesn't get enough attention: online privacy. Whether you're starting a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast, or even just building your personal brand on LinkedIn, there are real concerns that come up as soon as you put yourself out there. I run into it talking to people every day about this stuff. So let's talk about how to stay visible without sacrificing your safety or your identity or your peace of mind. Stick with me, because I'm going to share both the risks and the solutions. First, let's talk about why privacy matters more as you get older. As creators over the age of 40, we often have more to protect than younger folks. We might have families, we might have businesses, we might have homes that we own, or even public-facing careers. So privacy takes on a whole new meaning. And unlike digital natives, we didn't grow up sharing every detail of our lives online. So that means we probably feel a little bit more anxious or hesitant about putting ourselves out there. And that's totally valid. But here's the truth. You can build a successful personal brand and still protect your privacy if you do it intentionally. Of course, you have to be aware of what the real risks are. So let's get clear on the actual risks. These aren't here to scare you, they're just to help you be smart. So one is called doxing, and that's when somebody finds and shares your private info, like your home address or your phone number, without your consent. A big one we all hear about, of course, is identity theft. And we're probably going to use our name and our photo online if we're building a personal brand, which is great. But if you overshare, scammers will take advantage and use it. Then there's stalkers or harassment. And sadly, this does happen, especially if your content starts to gain some traction. You're going to see the trolls on your posts. Another one is account hacking. If you don't protect your logins, someone else might get in and impersonate you. I've heard of other creators having their YouTube accounts hacked and stolen, essentially, and then they end up getting used to promote some pretty sketchy content. And the last one I'll mention is oversharing, because this is a sneaky one. You might accidentally share info that reveals where you live or where your kids go to school or other personal habits. Don't worry, there are simple strategies to lower your risk around all of these things. And frankly, it's better to be proactive about these things, because it's very difficult to avoid doing things online these days, especially if you actually want to benefit from online business and content creation. So let's look at essentially how to protect yourself without hiding altogether. A few potential solutions might be using a P.O. box or a business address instead of your home address. I don't think you should ever list your home address on any public platform. YouTube requires an address for monetization, but it doesn't have to be your home address. I also recommend getting a separate email for your brand. So something like you@yourbrand.com, or even just a Gmail address. I use a Gmail address quite often. That helps you keep your personal email private and secure, and you've still got a way for businesses to reach out and contact you for anything they might want to do in terms of working with you. I also recommend turning off location tagging, especially on Instagram or live streams, or even on YouTube as well. You just want to avoid sharing where you are located in real time. Be mindful with your videos. Avoid filming in front of a house number or a license plate or unique neighborhood markers that people might recognize. And if you miss that and you don't notice until after you've recorded your video, just blur them out in your editing software. Use two-factor authentication on every single account. Gmail, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. It's an extra step, and I know it's annoying, but it creates more of a nightmare for hackers, and that is the point. And don't share kids' info, by the way. If you're a parent, be cautious, especially names, faces, locations tied to their routines. You don't want hackers to get any of that information. There are some terrible stories out there about kids being exploited online. Use secure password managers like 1Password or Bitwarden, or even Google has a built-in password manager now. it is well worth it. It's not going to generate passwords you can easily remember, but that's the point. You don't want passwords that somebody else can easily hack. And on that note, avoid using the same password across accounts. I know I'm guilty of doing that in the past, and I don't do it anymore. You might want to think about using a VPN, a virtual private network. If you're working from a public Wi-Fi space for traveling, for example, in a hotel or something like that, a VPN will encrypt your connection and protect your data. If you're working online, all of these things can feel like they're in conflict with each other because the whole point is you need visibility to be successful, but you don't want so much that it is a big risk to your privacy. And some people are going to say, if you're worried about privacy online, well, just don't post anything. But for many of us, especially if you're a creator over 40, this is about more than just content. And that's not a practical solution because you're trying to build a business. You're trying to create freedom. And you're trying to share a message that matters. And you're trying to leave a legacy. So the real challenge is, how do you stay visible without being vulnerable to the criminals out there? Here are some things that work. Share stories, but not personal details. Be authentic, but don't be overly revealing. And protect your routines, but still show your personality. You don't have to live in fear. You just need a smart system for creating your content. This is the world we live in now, and you are allowed to show up online confidently at any age, without giving up your privacy. If you're ready to do that in a way that feels safe and smart, I've put together a free checklist called the Privacy Smart Creator Toolkit. It'll walk you through all the tips I've shared and a few bonus ones I didn't have time to cover in this video. You can grab that in the description box below. And while you're here, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What is your biggest concern when it comes to online privacy? Let's have a conversation about it. Thanks for watching. Remember, your voice matters, your story is valuable, but your privacy is worth protecting. Check out one of these helpful videos next. I'll see you there.